an average of 55 attacks a day, a spike that had doubled the casualties among Afghan security forces.
They are asking us to release prisoners who had been imprisoned because they had killed Afghan civilians or government officials.
In other words, to release them, you would be strengthening the hand of your enemy.
In the hand of our enemy.
So you objected.
Correct.
President Ashraf Ghani has finally relented.
But under major diplomatic pressure from the U.S., Ghani acquiesced.
The president has issued a decree for the conditional release of 5,000 Taliban prisoners. That's last week.
With the release of the prisoners, the Taliban were finally willing to talk to Ghani's representatives.
The Afghan government and Taliban met today in Doha, Qatar, for the historic negotiations aimed to form a power-sharing government. Mike Pompeo was on hand.
U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo arrived in Doha to kick off the intra-Afghan talks.
Seize this opportunity. Protect this process. Respect each other. Be patient. Remain focused on the mission. We're prepared to support your negotiations should you ask. But this time is yours. This time is yours. I pray that you will seize the moment.
The Afghan government was there as well as the Taliban. It was a big ceremony. Many ministers were present there. So it was a significant achievement that for the first time in 40 years, Afghans on the two sides fighting each other met and started negotiations.
The talks were supposed to get Afghans on both sides to come together and in good faith jointly decide on the future of Afghanistan. But the talks went nowhere.
After a month and a half negotiating, I reached to this conclusion that the Taliban are not believing in a shared future. They will not accept a political settlement. They are only looking for a military takeover.
Nader Naderi was one of President Ghani's top negotiators in those talks. He says issues like freedom of the press, inclusivity in the government, and women's rights were foremost on his team's agenda.
The Taliban played so smart.